It's been 40 years since Australia last played in the USA. This, the match program from that day in 1976 on a makeshift field in Los Angeles.
About a third of the pitch was made out of clay, and it was reduced in size as the gridiron pitch was. But prior to that, we had a few little ups and downs because we didn't have a lot of training here in those days. We only had one training run across the road from the hotel in a park, and quite a few of the guys went missing at particular times.
Sightseeing obviously just too much of a temptation, especially with Mexico just a short drive away.
On the Thursday before the game, 4 of the players that were in the team decided they might like to have a drive down to Tijuana, to Mexico, just across the border, and watch the sun come up and have a few tequilas. They got lost along the way, even though it was only a couple hundred K down, had trouble at the border and arrived back 4 hours before the game, but that was unknown to the management, so we sort of kept that a bit of a secret. They hadn't slept that night, so they quickly got themselves organised, and we went to play the game.
A game that didn't exactly go to script. Up by 2 points at half-time, Captain Geoff Shaw had some stern words at the break.
And in those days, our half-time replenishment of fluids, and that was a bucket of water and a sponge in the middle of the ground. There was no water bottles, no cups, no nothing. We didn't even have the oranges like you used to have in club rugby in those days. So called the boys in. I was captain, and we called the boys in. Everybody stood around looking at the bucket. It was a pretty warm day, and I kicked the bucket over and said, "Nobody's having a drink. We've got to win this game, and we've got to get out of here. So let's do what we're supposed to be doing. Let's do the job, and get on the plane and go home." It was funny, after I kicked the bucket of water over, the group broke up. There was a couple of props trying to get the water off the dirty ground to get a bit of moisture.
Eventually, they pulled away for a 24-12 victory, and the man known as Bunter thinks today's Wallabies will face an equally tough test in Chicago against an ever-improving USA.
The fact that now it's in the Olympic Games has a huge impact on American rugby, purely simply because of funding. And I think they went from something like $1 million a year as a basic sport into an Olympic pool of money up to $20 million to develop the games.